Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Episode number 408, Drink It Till You podcast, the only podcast that lasts till the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. I'm drinking, once again, my lime-flavored White Claw. I put a little bit of cherry flavoring in there to make it more cherry limeade. It's delicious, man. I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of sad, though, because I do the variety pack of the White Claw, and this is my last of the lime flavored one, which was actually the weakest of the flavors in my opinion until I did this to it, until I did the little extra flavoring in there. But yeah, it comes with blood orange and strawberry and lime and I don't know, another flavor. But this is my last can of the lime. So I'll have to figure out, I'm sure cherry goes with mango just fine, right? Blood orange is probably, I guess the worst one was the blood orange or the lime. I guess the lime being a little bit better. So maybe I can do something to spice up the blood orange so it doesn't taste so bitter, so dark. But anyways, if you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right. Tons to talk about, man. There's some NBA stuff going on. We'll get into that. UFC was last night. All the hockey I can handle over the past week. It's been great. I've been trying to keep up as much as possible. What else? There's conspiracy I'd like to get into this week. I don't know if I have enough time. There's Razor being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's amazing. I'll kind of go into a little tidbit on him. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and start with the NBA. Phase 1 of me becoming a Dallas Mavericks fan again is complete. Phase 1 was Nico Harrison being fired. Phase 2 is the ownership changing to somebody who actually gives a shit about the Mavericks and gives a shit about Dallas and gives a shit about our history with this team and doesn't want to drive everybody away and actually wants to, kind of like what Mark Cuban did for so many years, building up this culture, building up this Mavs fan for life, kind of like that. That's who I'm looking for ownership. He did all of that shit, dude. He did all of that work just to sell the team to somebody who's tearing it down. I don't get it. Obviously, you don't know what someone's going to do with the team. I guess you would not suspect that they're trying to run it into the ground if you're selling them the team and they say if they're saying all the right words and we love the Mavericks. Oh, I've watched the Mavericks since blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. But yeah, it's just crazy. All that work just to get torn down and a 2 seasons worth of just bullshit they've been doing. So anyways, phase 1 is complete. Nico Harrison is no longer a part of the Dallas Mavericks organization. Thank you, God. I'm so happy about that. I'm usually not in favor of people getting fired, but in this scenario, yes, well deserved. He earned that one. So he's gone. That starts the first phase of me becoming that first phase is over. Let me say it that way. And the good news is there's only 2 phases. There's not much more. You change ownership to someone who cares. I'm back. I'm not saying I won't root for OKC anymore. Of course, I've honestly just always liked Oklahoma City Thunder, even when they first started, and they were actually really freaking good when they first got together. Westbrook and Harden and Durant. Yeah, dude, they came close to winning it a couple of times in those early seasons. But so I've always kind of been a little bit of a fan. I just didn't really expect for them to become my number 1 team. And lucky me, they just won the championship last year. I became a fan as soon as they were about to win the championship. It's kind of comical. That's bandwagon to the T. But I think anyone who was going to call me out on being a bandwagon fan would understand my perspective of like why I'm leaving the Dallas Mavericks. But I'm kind of back in. I got a toe back in the water, man. Like, they fired Nico. I'm like, wait a minute. I know an organization that's about to receive my $30. You're like, dude, we don't need your $30, man. But anyway, so yeah, he's gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Okay, I shouldn't say that. He's not dead. But his employment with the Dallas Mavericks is dead, and I'm fucking happy about that. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I tried to watch the OKC game the other night. I got caught up in hockey, of course, and I didn't catch the game. So I missed that one. That's a little bit, that's what I know about the NBA currently. Other than the freaking, when's the last time I was ever able to say this? The Detroit Pistons are the number one team in the Eastern Conference. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I mean, naturally, just like watching the Detroit Tigers this season in baseball, I'm going to start watching the fucking Pistons. They seem fun, they seem like they're doing their thing. I love that. I do love Detroit sports. I'm half and half. I'm 50-50. Detroit Pistons, green light for me. Detroit Tigers, green light for me. Detroit Red Wings, I mean, there's some history there. When they used to come to Reunion Arena, and we used to have those blowout battles. It's not that I don't like the Detroit Red Wings. It's just like they fought us so hard in the 90s, and there were so many little incidents that, when I think about them, it just kind of brings, and not to say I don't like them, because I do, but it brings a negative, kind of aura to them in my mind every time I think about them. But, they're not the worst. Detroit Lions, I mean, I don't know if I've ever said this out loud before, but if I ever were to pick another football team to root for, it would probably be the Detroit Lions. Not only do they have like the same color scheme as my Dallas Cowboys, obviously, but I mean, they had goddamn Barry Sanders when I was a kid, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, it's how do you not like a team after you watch Barry Sanders? You just, and that's kind of the thing too, is like you can like players without liking the team or whatever, and that's pretty much the route I've chosen. But yeah, honestly, Detroit Lions would probably be, and that's saying a lot. Like, I never have uttered that to anybody ever in my existence. But yeah, I to be honest with myself, I don't even want to say what my third team would be, because I was a kid and I liked colors and I liked shiny colors. But yeah, I won't even speak to what my third. It's like it would be disgraceful for me being a Cowboys fan. But yeah, the Detroit Lions, I mean, they're cool. They would definitely be my second favorite team if I were to pick a second favorite team, which I'm not. I still want everybody to lose every single week after week. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of hockey going on, man. A lot of hockey. It's just been crazy. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, man, I've been watching pretty much everything I can consume. A lot of Flyers, obviously a lot of Stars. The team that I said early on in the season that I'm going to be watching more, and I have actually watched over the past 2 or 3 seasons a lot closer than I have this season, is the Winnipeg Jets. I really haven't even tuned into a game this season. I've been all over Philadelphia. I mean, pretty much almost every other Western Conference team is who I've been paying attention to. Utah. I've watched more Utah hockey this season than I have Winnipeg Jets hockey. But yeah, just tons of good games, man. It's kind of funny. The Flyers the night before they played the Stars. Just a great comeback win again for them. I was telling you guys last week about how they keep getting the game-winning goal, but it's like offside. Every time they, like the last 2 times I've watched, it's like they have the game-winning goal. I'm like, good job, Flyers. They won the game. And then I switched the channel, and then I'm looking through Twitter, and Twitter's like, overtime's over for the Flyers and so-and-so, and we're headed to a shootout. I'm like, wait, what? Then I have to like backtrack and be like, wait, they didn't win the game? Dude, it's been wild, man. It's been a wild couple of weird endings to games for the Flyers this season. So yeah, they do the comeback kid thing, and they win their game before they face us, and then they come in and face my Stars, and they just get destroyed. Just absolutely destroyed. I don't know. I can't say I've really talked shit on Golitzin. I haven't talked shit on Golitzin. I just know that Peter DeBoer is a good coach, so that's kind of like my starting point. It's not like he's a bad coach. He's absolutely not a bad coach. But I've been kind of playing with that idea of like, we gave up DeBoer, we got Golitzin, we weren't doing so great there for a stretch of the season early on. And I'm like, this is what we got in place of the guy who's got us to, so deep in the playoffs, like with his play style, all this and that. So anyways, I'm basically saying all of this to say I'm really fucking happy with Golitzin right now. I don't know what he said to the team specifically. I kind of think I have an idea of what he might have said, but I don't know specifically what he said. But basically, like, we've been doing this thing. We've been doing that comeback kid thing for so long with the Dallas Stars, where it's like we'll get down 2 goals, but then we end up winning the game like 6-4 or something. It's like, dude, why do we have to get punched in the mouth before we start playing our style hockey? I just never, and this isn't just like a this season thing. This goes back probably 5 to, I don't know, let's just say 5 seasons to keep it reasonable. But this goes back that far. Is like, we always play better after we get smacked around a little bit. And it's like, it shouldn't take that. So that's kind of the thing that Golitsin's been saying to the team is like, we got to make it easier on ourselves, man. Like, if we can score, then let us be the first one to score. You know what I mean? And like I said, I wasn't in the room to hear the speech, but I have to imagine it's something like that. Just not making it so damn hard on ourselves where we have to come back every single game. You know what I mean? If we play that way from the start, the way we end the game, then we won't have any problems. And so after that was said, we play Montreal, and we just absolutely 7-0. If that tells you anything, we just came out and did exactly what Golitzin was saying. And this, by the way, and I know it's early on in the season, we beat the first place team in the Eastern Conference 7-0. You know what I mean? Like, that's a statement game right there, So I don't know what he said, but I'm happy for it. Because the last 2 games, we come out and we smash the Canadians, and then yesterday we come out and we handled the Flyers pretty well. We didn't beat them 7-0, but we handled the Flyers. You know what I mean? And the Flyers are a pretty good team. They're about a mid-range team, and they've been playing really well. So that just goes, I don't know what the block was before, but if we can keep that kind of like free flow going with like our creativity as a team and our play on the ice and stuff, if we can keep that going, dude, we're super dangerous, man. And I said this last week, man, all the weapons they've added to this team over the years, I know that's exactly what Jim Nill is thinking. He's like, dude, our top 3 lines are stacked. with players. How is this not equaling a championship? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, you can't, it's harder than just that. You know, you can't just get great players and it's all just going to work out and you win the championship every year. It takes it takes strategy, it takes coaching, it takes, all that stuff, but the pieces are there, man. We just need somebody to play the pieces appropriately. And I don't know if Golitsyn's the guy to do that, but for right now, this point in time in the season, I'm ecstatic with what he's doing. Like, whatever he's saying to those guys, I don't know. It's working. So on top of that, I've never mentioned this on the podcast before, what I'm about to get into. But Razor was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is such a huge honor. And I've said this for a long time, we have the best hockey announcers. Razor, more specifically, he's the best. Like, I know there's been so many good, broadcasts in the past, so many famous voices, the Harry Careys, and, but this guy, for my money, from me growing up here in Dallas, this is the man. Daryl Razor Ray is just he's been a huge inspiration to me. And this is the part that I've never said out loud before. But even for me starting this podcast, I don't know, you guys don't know this, but he was a huge, influence for me wanting to even do this in the first place. Just for the fact that, I love what he does with his time that he has on the mic. And I'm definitely not saying, this compares to, I could never be at the broadcast level that Razor is at. You know what I mean? My podcast isn't even close. You know what I mean? But I still took inspiration and still continue to take inspiration from Razor. Just listening to him over the years, just the way he phrases things or the way he frames certain things happening. It's like, dude, I love that because that's like playing guitar to me. You know what I mean? You can improvise all day long if you want to. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what he's doing. It's almost like improv comedy, except he's got sports players to watch and, commentate on what's happening with them. But he takes that and artistically changes it into something funny or something thoughtful or something maybe you haven't thought about before, and it helps that he's, he was once upon a time a Hartford Whaler, a goalie for the Hartford Whalers, backup goalie. It helps that he actually played, to kind of see these things before maybe the average viewer can see. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get on here and say and have a toast to Razor, man. Congratulations on making it to the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's the crazy thing is he doesn't even know the amount of people he's influenced just by doing what he's doing. He influenced me heavily. I've always thought about being a sports commentator or something like that. I was like, how fun would that be? Get to travel around, follow the team, get to know the guys, comment on the game, I think that's fucking badass. So with that said, that's a lot of the inspiration that I used to start this podcast. I don't have to really think on my feet and watch players doing something and then relay it to you guys. I don't have it that hard on that level. But yeah, just so it's known, so it's out there, so it's on recording. Razor was a huge part of me starting Drink Until You podcast, and he doesn't even know it. You know what I mean? It's amazing, man. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy he's in the Hall of Fame now. It's fucking crazy, man. And he has all these Razorisms too. I'll just give you two of his most recent, just from watching the game, which actually fucking cracked me up, dude. So There was something the other night that happened with Bishel after a play. Bishel got in a scrum with someone, as he's known to do, which I absolutely love. And the refs, after the fact, are obviously on the ice. They're trying to sort it out. And Razor, he's kind of, telling everybody what's going on and, like, commenting on it and all this and that and trying to guess what the refs are going to say, like what the penalties are going to be from all of this little incident that happened with Bishel. And he's, like, looking at the refs and he's like, I see the refs down there on the ice and they have hand gestures galore happening between them. And it fucking cracked me up. I'm like, dude, that's such a Razorism. Hand gestures galore. This one was from fucking last night. Tyler Seguin had the puck and he's, working his way through the zone to the goal, and it kind of slips off his stick and goes right to Robertson, and Robertson just buries it. Robertson scored a hat trick, by the way, last night. Throw your hats. But yeah, it kind of slipped off his Sagan stick, and I'm totally using this from now on. Razor called it an accidental. I've never heard that before. He's like dangling, not Razor. Sagan is dangling through the zone, but once he actually lost control of the puck and it slid to Robertson just by chance, he called it an accidental. I fucking love that. And it had me cracking up. I had to write it down. I'm like, dude, there's another Razorism. This is why he's being inducted. This is why he's being conducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. No, I'm just kidding. And by the way, too, on top of it, a special, like, place in my heart, freaking Ralph Strangis was on the broadcast last night with Razor. You don't know how happy that made me to hear last night. You don't know. You can't even understand how, like, nostalgic and, like, filled with pride and, like, how amazing it was. It was almost like a tearjerker moment. You know what I mean? Because these two guys who had spent so many years together on the Dallas Stars broadcast are now together again. And not only that, but Ralph Strangis started calling the play for like the next couple of minutes, which was like, dude. And obviously Razor was doing the color commentary when Ralph would take a break. I was like, dude, we had, and I'm no shade to Josh Bogorad. I think he's awesome too, but man, we had such a great pair of announcers, man. And we realized it. It's not like we didn't realize it. I remember thinking so many times, I never want this to end. I never want Ralph and Razor to not call my games. Obviously players on the ice. I never want these players to not be players on my team. People get older. People have to retire. It's just, I'm wishing for unrealistic things. But it was because those times were so special. Ralph's voice rings in my head anytime I think about the Stars winning the Cup. The Stars win the Stanley Cup. The Stars win the Stanley Cup. The Stars win this. Dude, like, I got fucking goosebumps right now, man. It's just, congratulations, dude. We're lucky. We're so lucky to still have Razor, but to have had Ralph Strangis. And I think Ralph kind of went through some medical issues too, like cancerous medical issues. So it's just like, I don't know, man. It just made my heart full to hear him on the broadcast calling my team again with his buddy Razor. Dude, it was, oh man. They got me with that one last night, man. They really did. They really pulled on the heartstrings on that one, and it's just got me reminiscing. While they were making the calls, after the game was over this morning, as soon as I wake up, I'm just like, I'm thinking about it, man. This shit lives in our minds. A lot of people might look at it and be like, an announcer going to the Hockey Hall of Fame, that's fucking stupid. That's so stupid. It's like, no, you don't get it, dude. You don't get it. These people, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. They have the highest honor You know what I mean? Like in my book, as far as the Dallas Stars are concerned. You know, they're up there with the Mike Modanos and the Yuri Letninens and the Sergei Zubovs and the Darian Hatchers and the Pat Verbeeks and I could go on Daryl Sadors and the Craig Ludwigs and the Guy Carbonos. Like, I could go on and on. The Marty Turcos and the Eddie the Eagle Belfour. You know what I mean? Like, they deserve to be there. So, with all of that said, I talked a little bit longer about that than I planned on, but I really am happy for them. I'm genuinely happy and impressed and thankful that they got to be, calling my team's games. So with all that said, if you got them, drink them, bottoms up. This toast is to Razor and Ralph. For my money, Razor's the best fucking announcer Dallas has ever had. Cheers, everybody. I know Babe Laufenberg wouldn't be happy about hearing that, but I also don't think Babe Laufenberg gives a shit what Chris thinks. So anyways, moving on. Oh my God. 26 minutes in. I got so much UFC stuff to talk about. I can't even get to the conspiracy. And if you want to know, the conspiracy thing was just to do with Paul McCartney and the Beatles. Just by saying that, if you've ever looked into any sort of Beatles conspiracy, you already know what I'm talking about, right? So anyways, let's do the UFC. 322 last night. What a great event. Wei Li, the Chinese fighter, she did not come out on top. I was really, really rooting for her. I love her attitude. I love her just personality. I love her fighting style. I love how tenacious she is when she's in there. She just couldn't do it, man. What's that lady's name? Shevchenko? God, I hope I'm saying... I gotta look now. You UFC fans are gonna fucking click off as soon as I start butchering names. Yeah, Shevchenko, dude. That chick... I mean, there's not a lot of women I would have to feel on this earth that could beat Shevchenko's ass. You know what I mean? Like, I know she has a loss. She has a couple of losses on her record. Those were not ass beatings. Those were, you gave up your back. I got you in a guillotine. I choked you out. And that's, you'll never make that mistake again. Those are learning lessons, But I really wanted Wei Li to win that fight. She just moved up weight classes to face Shevchenko for the belt. And, yeah, I mean, kind of like Joe Rogan said last night, there's a reason weight classes exist. You know what I mean? Because as tough and tenacious and hardcore as Wei Li is, she just could not keep up with the physical dominance of Shevchenko. She just couldn't. I mean... And they were talking about Shevchenko facing women that are larger than even her. I mean, Shevchenko in that fight looked massive to start with comparatively to Wei Li. But they're saying Shevchenko's fought chicks that are bigger than her and she still whooped them. It's like, dude, what are you supposed to... If she can dominate someone that big on the ground, what is a smaller person supposed to do? So basically, that's what it was. That was Shevchenko just dominating on the ground, dominating on the feet. I mean, Shevchenko's Muay Thai, honestly, like before the fight, they were showing some of her shit, some of her fights before, and I was like, I'm worried for Wei Li now at this point because her Muay Thai is ridiculous. You go back and listen to that fight, listen to the body kicks, dude. Those things explode with power on Wei Li's gut. She's a dangerous bitch, bro. I'm not even saying that to be like disrespectful. She's a dangerous ass bitch. And she's so fucking nice too. She's super nice. When they were interviewing her, I was like, oh, she's such a sweet lady. Like, what the fuck? She just beat the fuck out of Wei Li for the past 25 minutes, but she's so nice. That's that whole fucking, what's that thing? The Wonder Boy Thompson kind of thing. He's such a nice guy. and very like you wouldn't expect him to be a fucking badass, right? You just think he's some nerdy fucking dad. Same thing with Shevchenko. You just think she's some nerdy fucking mom and with her fucking 12 cats and all this. But dude, you piss her off, she's gonna fucking kick the shit out of you. That was a great fight. Weili, I just want to say, man, even though you lost the fight, you're still a fucking champ to me, man. To even dare to go up in weight class and fight as hard as you did, she didn't get knocked out. She didn't get submitted. It had to go to a decision. That's admirable to me. You know what I mean? That's fucking amazing. I'm so happy. She even tried. She dared, like they said on the broadcast, she dared to be great. I can't hate on anybody who dares to be great. Fuck that, man. You gave it your all. So, yeah, Weili loses that one. The main event, Makhachev. Jesus Christ, bro. I'm normally kind of on the side in these fights of, you know, if they're not doing anything on the ground, just fucking stand them up. This is boring. You know what I mean? But in Makhachev's case, I was not bored that entire fight. And I love what he does, you know, and they were talking about how, you know, he's so good on the ground and he's so good at like shooting and grappling and stuff that opens up his striking game even more, because everybody's thinking you have to do a certain thing. If someone's really good at taking people down and getting them on the ground and, you know, doing all that shit to them, you can't fight them the same. You have to stay at a certain distance. It's probably better to throw certain kicks rather than punches. That way you're not too close. You got to have your hips in like a certain position to avoid takedown. It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole strategy. And they play, him and his team, Makhachev, they play it perfectly to a T. It's like a Rubik's Cube to them, dude. Like, that's what I see. It's like when they're on the feet, it's like they're twisting the cube and trying to get all the colors to line up. And then, you know, the opponent does something. Okay, well, we got to twist the cube this way to make it line up now that he did that. Okay, now we're on the ground. Oh, well, he moved his arm this way, so I got to twist the cube to make it go to this certain. Oh, but he just moved body position. Okay, let me twist the cube this. It's like they're always just... It's chess, you know what I mean? You make a move, they're 2 steps ahead of you. You make another move, they're 2 steps ahead of you. You make another move, they're 2 steps ahead of you. They know where you're going with your move, therefore they know how to counter, and they know what to go to next to put you in the most... It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. and you know, and I didn't take Makhachev, his post-fight interview, I didn't take that as him being cocky either. He literally said, every opponent that comes in here against me knows exactly what I'm going to do, and they can't stop it. That's utter, pure fucking dominance, bro. You know what he's going to do, and you're not going to be able to do a fucking thing about it. That's insane, dude. He's like, it's no secret what I'm going to do. Everyone knows, but they can't stop it. And it's because of that like Rubik's Cube kind of idea that I was explaining. It's like they're just ahead of you at every turn. And not only that, but in every position, every situation, speaking more to like on the ground, they know all the ways to wear you down. Like he's not Makhachev wasn't just laying on top of Della Maddalena. He wasn't just laying on top of him. He's like forcibly squishing him into the canvas, like literally like you would a bug. Like you take your foot and you stomp on it and you twist, you like twist your ankle to like rub it out. That's literally what he's doing to his opponent. And you could see it on Jack's face. I almost called him Jake. You can see it on Jack's face. He's grimacing when he's on the bottom. This dude is like trying to squish him. He's trying to make him one with the mat. You know what I mean? Which is like, I never thought about that before. Like I thought about positioning and stuff and like trying to get the best position to try to maybe get a submission or maybe get a crucifix so you can beat the shit out of him. I've never thought about wearing on somebody by forcing their body like into the ground, like squishing them into the ground for 25 minutes. It was fucking amazing, dude. So yeah, I'm normally kind of with the other UFC, and there is a difference too. What Makachev, God, I can't remember how to pronounce the names. There's a difference too. What he was doing versus what I've seen in other fights. Like I said, if you're just laying on top of them, you're not even hitting them. You're not even like trying to move for a submit. That's the time to stand him up. I did not feel that way during Islam's fight last night. There was not a single time when he was on top of Jack where I was like, this is boring. No, he was working the entire time. And that I don't stand him up at that point because that's fighting. You know, if they're going to lay on each other, stand them up. This is boring. If they're going to work the entire time as he did, I am all for it, and I absolutely love the strategy. It was great. The Morales versus Brady. I've never seen Brady get beat up like that before, but Morales is a fucking monster, man. He's huge. I can't believe he's that size in the welterweight class, you know? So anyways, I didn't get to a lot of the topics this week. There's so much shit going on. But that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Check out my YouTube shorts, man. I'm having such a great time with these Red Dead Redemption shorts and like editing the videos and trying to make it, you know, look good and all this and that. I'm having a great time. So go check me out on YouTube at Drink Until You Podcast. Check me out on Twitter at Drink Until You. You can always write me if I say something stupid, which is a weekly occurrence, or something wrong, which is also a weekly occurrence. Please write me at drinkuntilyouPodcast@gmail.com. Tell me where I was wrong. I would love to hear it, and I will always correct myself because, you know, I want to put the truth out there, mostly what I perceive to be the truth. So if it's wrong, just let me know. But as always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a Waymo. Let's go ahead and have our last drink of the episode. If you got them, drinking bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. And I will talk to you all next week. I love you all. Bye.